Hi, it's Frenchy Bets. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to break down the running back news that just happened. Thursday game, have DraftKings and Fanduel showdown lineup for that, and then half of the Sunday games. So, starting off with the news, Kareem Hunt re-signing with the Browns. I don't think it's going to do much for Ford. I think Jerome Ford's still going to be the guy, and Kareem Hunt's going to play the same role that he did for the Browns for the last 4 years. And he was there, and they didn't want to bring him back, so I don't see them bringing him in to take over and be the number one guy when they were good with Ford to let Kareem Hunt go. So I think he'll come in, and we could see some value out of Kareem Hunt. I don't think it'll be for 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, he hasn't been to training camp, preseason, missed 2 games, so take a couple weeks for him to get back into football shape before I think we see some value out of him. But we could see value down the line. But I still believe that Ford's going to be the main guy. And then Akers getting traded to the Minnesota Vikings. That one scares me a little bit more. I still think Madison is going to be the lead guy, but definitely going to split time. If you have Madison, hopefully it's more like a 70-30 split. But the Vikings have been bad at running the ball. They have historically one of the lowest rushing yards through 2 games. So hopefully Madison can bounce back this week and not let Akers take over the job. So, jumping into these games, starting with the Thursday game with the Giants and 49ers. Yeah, 49ers big favorites, 10.5 with a total of 44. For the Giants, I'm trying to sit Daniel Jones if I can in this game. It's not a great matchup. We saw what happened when he played the Cowboys with Micah Parsons in a great pass rush, and the 49ers have an elite defense too with Bosa. So the 49ers are really just a good defense all around. And Breida, I told you guys I was out on him. This was the main reason. 49ers are good against running backs, and Breida should get the majority of the work, but I don't see him having a good fantasy day. I'm not playing any of the receivers. The only guy I'm playing for the Giants is Darren Waller. He's leading tight ends in yards this year so far through 2 games. So I'm playing Waller, and really I'm not even considering playing anyone else. There's better options than Daniel Jones this week. On the 49ers side of things, Purdy is a good play. I think Brock Purdy is going to be what he is every week, and that's a solid fantasy quarterback. Obviously, CMC's in, Debo's in. I think Debo's going to have a great game, and Ayuk, I am sitting Ayuk this week, even if he does play. He came out of the game, went back in, came back out, so I think that shoulder's really bothering him and it's going to hinder his play even if he does play. So I'm sitting Ayuk this week. And Kittle has been very bad this year, but we know he's eventually going to have his game where he has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the 49ers just have so many weapons that Kittle's number just hasn't been getting called lately. So you can play Kittle. On to the next game. Titans at the Browns. Browns 3.5 point favorites. The 39.5 total. On the Titans side of things, I really don't want to play anyone. But Derrick Henry, I mean, how are you going to sit Derrick Henry? But I'm tempering my expectations for him. Maybe a low-end running back too this week. Browns are probably, I shouldn't say the best. They're definitely one of the best defenses in the league right now. And so I'm tempering expectations for Henry. And really, I'm trying to sit Hopkins too if I can. There's a ton of other guys out there, so I'm sitting Hopkins. Henry's the only guy I'm playing for the Titans. On the Browns side of things, Deshaun Watson, I'm giving him another chance. He's gotta show something this week. He has to. So I'm giving Deshaun Watson this week, and then if he doesn't perform, might be considering dropping him if you have him. Running backs, I'm not a great matchup. Titans are pretty good against running backs, but I'm playing Ford with Kareem Hunt just signing. I don't think he's gonna eat into the workload. So Ford showed some bursts and looked really good against the Steelers, who have a great defense. So I'm playing Ford. And then receivers, I'm playing Amari Cooper. And really that's it. I don't think I want to play anyone else. But Cooper's in. The Titans are bad against receivers. So if you wanted to take your shot on Elijah Moore, I'm good with that as like a flex play. And nobody else really. I'm not interested in David Bell or Donovan Peoples-Jones. And then you can play David Njoku though. I'm playing if I have him. So on to the next game. Chargers and Vikings. Got this could be the fantasy game of the week. Chargers minus 1.5 with a 53.5 total, and I'm playing everyone I can in this game. Justin Herbert's obviously in. The Chargers running back, no matter who it is, Eckler or Kelly. If Eckler doesn't play, I'm playing. Receivers, I'm playing Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's had a resurgence. He looks great so far this year. So both of them are definitely locked in. Then if you want to take a shot on one of the tight ends, Gerald Everett or Donald Parham, I'm good with it. Don't know which one it's going to be. Parham had the touchdown, but Gerald Everett's on the field more, getting more targets and yards. So I'm good if you want to take a shot on either one of them with this state of tight ends. And over on the Viking side of things, Kirk Cousins is in. Gotta play Kirk Cousins. He's still available in a ton of leagues. So if you got a Daniel Jones, pick up Kirk Cousins and play him. He's the number one fantasy quarterback on the year so far. And I'm playing Madison and hoping he can have a bounce back and get us some yards and fall into the end zone. And obviously JJ is in, Jordan Addison's in, and TJ Hawkinson's in. I mean, they got the number one quarterback, the number one receiver, and the number one tight end. Tyreek might be ahead of Justin Jefferson, but regardless, you get what I'm saying. So, no need to get cute. Everyone's in on this game. On to the next game. Sorry, keeps closing out. The Patriots and Jets. Patriots 2.5 point favorite with a total of 37. This game might finish 10-3 with the only touchdown being by one of the defenses. Patriots side of things, I'm not playing anyone other than Ramondre and Hunter Henry. I know it's not the greatest matchup for Ramondre, but he's still a good running back. So I'm playing him, and Hunter Henry's number 2 tight end on the year so far. Every week you get 5 or 6 catches and 50 to 60 yards with a touchdown, so he's in. On the Jets side of things, I'm playing Breece Hall. He only got 4 carries last week, So he's definitely, they have to get him the ball more. They have zero chance of winning any games with only getting Breece Hall 4 carries. So Breece Hall's in. Dalvin Cook, I don't think I want to play Dalvin Cook. And then Garrett Wilson, he's got to be in your lineup. I mean, we saw what happened last week. He wasn't involved and then breaks a long touchdown. So Garrett Wilson's got to be in. Just a little bit lower expectations, obviously, with Zach Wilson and a tough Patriots matchup. The Bills and Commanders. Bills, 6.5-point favorites, 43.5 total. Josh Allen is in. James Cook's in. He's getting targets. He's looked all right. So I'm playing James Cook. And Stephon Diggs is in. And Gabe Davis, I like this week. Got a solid matchup. Commanders aren't great against the receivers, and we know Gabe Davis can blow up and have 2 long touchdowns in any given week, so he's in. On the Commander side of things, I'm not playing Sam Howell this week. I like Sam Howell, but not this week. Brian Robinson is in for me. He's been a great fantasy asset this year, and not exactly what we expected, but Brian Robinson's in for me. And the receivers, McLaurin and Dotson, if you want to take a shot on them. It's not a great matchup, so I'm good if you want to sit them down, find someone else with a better matchup, or if you have to play them, lower expectations a little bit, maybe a low-end flex play. Texans and Jags. Jags, 8.5-point favorites with the 44.5 total. On the Texans side of things, I'm playing CJ Stroud. They're throwing the ball all over the place. They got over 40 pass attempts in both games, and he's looked pretty good. Jags aren't good against quarterbacks, so it's a good matchup, and he's in for me. And receivers, I'm playing Nico Collins. Nico Collins has looked really good, and they're throwing the ball so much that Nico Collins is a play for me if you picked him up. Then Robert Woods, he's getting a ton of targets. You can take the shot on him. Tank Dell, I'm good if you want to take the shot on him too. He was on the field more than Nico Collins was, actually. And he got a touchdown, so I'm good with any of those 3 receivers. Dameon Pierce, on the other hand, I think I'm trying to sit Pierce if I can. I know running back is kind of tough right now, so you might not be able to, but if I can, I'm sitting Dameon Pierce. Over on the Jags side of things, obviously Trevor Lawrence is in, Travis Etienne's in, and then the 3 receivers, don't know what we're going to get from them, and I think this is going to be the trend all year. You got to play Calvin Ridley where you drafted him, but Kirk and Zay Jones could both. You can play both of them, and they could both goose you. We've seen each in each of the 2 weeks. So, but when you drafted any of these Jags pass catchers, you had to expect that this is what it was going to be. But Evan Ingram's in just because of the state of the tight end. But the 3 receivers, I'm good if you want to play any of them. But it could be only one of them blowing up. It could be 2 of them. The chances of all 3 of them blowing up is not likely, but on to the next game. Colts and Ravens. Ravens 7.5-point favorites and a total of 45.5. On the Colts side of things, if Anthony Richardson is in, you can play him just because of his rushing ability, because it's not a great matchup against the Ravens. If it's Gardner Minshew, I'm not playing him this week. And even if you want to sit Richardson, if he does play for the chance that he gets knocked out, I'm good with that this week with a tough matchup. Zach Moss, it's not a good matchup for running backs, but he's their only guy, so I don't mind playing Moss as a low end running back too. Receivers, it's a great matchup for receivers, but the Colts just don't have anyone. Michael Pittman's in, but other than that, I don't want to take a chance on any of these other guys. So really, it's Zach Moss and Michael Pittman. That's it. The Ravens side of things, obviously Lamar is in. I think you can play both running backs this week. You know, I like Justice Hill better, but the Ravens could be up big and just running the clock out with Gus this week. So I'm good with both running backs. And then Zay Flowers I'm playing, and Mark Andrews I'm playing. None of these other pass catchers I'm interested in at all. Just Zay and Mark Andrews, and the two running backs. And obviously the quarterback. Come on, why does it keep closing out? On to our next game is the Falcons at the Lions. Lions 3.5-point favorite with a total of 46.5. On the Falcons side of things, obviously Bijan is in, and Tyler Algier, he got around the same amount of opportunities as he did in week 1, so you can play him. He just wasn't as efficient, only 3 yards a carry or 4 yards a carry and no touchdowns. So you can play Algier, but Bijan is definitely in. And Desmond Ridder, if you want to take a chance in DFS play or something, I'm not playing him in season long. There's other players that I like better, other quarterbacks. Pass catchers, Drake London, if you want to take the chance. Lions are a good matchup. They don't have a good secondary, and they're banged up. So Drake London and Kyle Pitts are both so talented, they're just not getting the ball. But the Falcons threw it over 30 times last game, so hopefully that can somehow keep trending up. We get up to the 35 range and get Pitts and London some targets. I mean, if Pitts doesn't perform this week, we might be dropping him. The Lions are giving up 15.3 points a week to tight ends. So this might be Kyle Pitts' last chance. Over on the Lions side of things, I'm playing Jared Goff. It's a home Lions game. He's looked good. He always does in home games. So I'm playing Jared Goff. Jahmyr Gibbs is in, and hopefully this is his breakout game. I still don't think he's not going to be a bell cow getting 15, 20 carries a game. But hopefully we can get up into the 10 to 12 carry range and add another 5 to 10 targets. He led the team in targets last week, so Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely in. Craig Reynolds, I don't mind as a play. If the Lions do get up big, it's going to be Craig Reynolds running out the clock. So I don't mind Craig Reynolds as a play. He took over for Montgomery. It wasn't Gibbs coming in and getting everything. So Reynolds is a guy you can plug in there for a flex play. Then pass catchers, obviously Amon-Ra is in, but he's dealing with turf toe. So if he does play, we got to lower our expectations for him a little bit, but he's still in the lineup. Then Josh Reynolds, I think he's a solid play this week. We know Goff's going to be throwing the ball all over the place, and Josh Reynolds has looked solid. He had 2 touchdowns last week, and with Amon-Ra hindered a little bit, I think you can definitely play Josh Reynolds. And then Sam Laporta is in. He's looked like the best rookie tight end. He's getting targets. We need him to fall in the end zone, and Laporta will be looking good for us. So that is all the games we're going to break down today. We'll break down the rest of the 8 games in tomorrow's video and have a Fanduel DraftKings lineup for the Sunday slate then. Now I'll jump over to the showdown lineup for Thursday. All right, over on Fanduel right now for the showdown lineup between the 49ers and the Giants. Last week I ended up 2-2 on Thursday showdown. Both Fanduel and DraftKings cashed in the cash game, and Sunday they both missed. So I'll keep a running tally of the record on the screen. So starting off with Fanduel, again, their MVP is the same price as a flex. So our MVP, CMC. You gotta have CMC in there. And then for our first flex, we're gonna put Debo in there and look at Waller. 8,500 per position left. Let's see what we got. Not any real low salary guys that I like. Let's throw the 49ers defense in there. That gives us 7,000 left. Who can we get with that? Jalen Hyatt. If we put, yeah, I think we're gonna roll with that. Maybe, I don't know. Jalen Hyatt hasn't been great, but it's just kind of a tough slate on the Giants side of things. I think they're gonna be throwing the ball a ton. I know Jalen Hyatt hasn't been great, but last week he's only got 3 targets on the year. 2 of them were last week, and he caught both of them for 89 yards. So if we can get that out of Hyatt, when I think they're going to be throwing the ball a ton, I think we'll be good. So we got CMC in the MVP, Debo, Darren Waller, the 49ers defense, and Jalen Hyatt. Going not very common that you go a build with no quarterback, but I don't think we could have fit either one of them in and still been comfortable with who we had in the lineup. So I like this lineup for cash. I think it's fairly safe other than Jalen Hyatt, and I could see them throwing the ball a ton, so Hyatt getting some more targets. So we're gonna go with that for our FanDuel cash game. Again, that's for 50-50s and double ups, not tournaments or anything else crazy. Just 50-50s and double ups. Help build the bankroll up a little bit. Jumping over to DraftKings. And on DraftKings, the MVP, or captain they call it, does have 1.5 times the salary also, along with the points. So we're gonna put CMC in there just because he's about as safe as it gets. He had 100%. He was in on 100% of the plays last week, so we're gonna put CMC in and see what we can do with this one. Love Debo in this game, so we're putting him in. Scroll down a little bit. 49ers defense is a little bit cheaper here. Jake Moody's real cheap, 4,200. I like that. We're gonna put Jake Moody in there. And who else do we like? Let's see what Darius Slayton's done. He's got 3 catches in both games. Let's throw Slayton in there for now and see what else we can do here. If we put Waller in, and that doesn't give us much left. We're looking at 4,200. The Giants defense, Graham Gano. All right, let's take Waller out. I don't like having Breida in there. Didn't like our options left. So let's go back to the 49ers defense. Got a pretty similar lineup. The construction just worked out this way. Let's see if we flip-flop Debo and CMC, what that gives us. But I really like CMC being in the captain spot. But it gives us 8,000. We can get up to Waller then. No, I think CMC in the captain spot for cash is the way to go. So I'll put him back there. Debo and 5,800. We're going to go with a pretty similar lineup. Throw Jalen Hyatt in there. So we got CMC in the MVP spot. 49ers defense, Jalen Hyatt, Jake Moody, Debo Samuel, and Darius Slayton. Obviously, if some crazy news happens, check my Twitter to see if anything changes with the lineup. I try to keep it the same unless big news makes me change the lineup. So that's it for today. I'll have another video tomorrow breaking down the rest of the games. Catch you in the next one.